Hey, everybody, and welcome again to Pinned and Broken, a Warpath Universe podcast with a focus on epic Warpath. Tonight, we're going to discuss the Enforcer faction, and I am joined by Don, Josh, and Jordan to do that. Gentlemen, how are you?
I'm peachy.
Great.
Just wonderful.
Right. So this is the episode I am simultaneously the least and most prepared to go through. I didn't write up a script for us because I've been busy, but it's Enforcers, so I mean I really don't even need you guys. That was a joke. I need you guys. I love you.
But you do. You do need me.
You haven't broken the Enforcers the way I have.
That's true.
The structure should be similar. We can just, use a previous episode guide, I think.
Oh no, I'm just gonna raw dog this thing. I'm not even bothering with an episode guide. So, in terms of news, the summer of sci-fi is fast approaching. The Mantic Tribes is up and running and into its second month for Firefight. We got Pathfinders and Nova Shocks this month, and something Orc, but no one cares about them, Jordan.
I mean,
next month,
just a resculpt anyway.
You're a resculpt.
Your face is a resculpt.
Your mom's a resculpt. Next month, we're allegedly getting Peacekeepers, which begs the question, is 30 Peacekeepers enough in a firefight army?
Can you fit more?
No, I physically can't by points, but I can always build and paint more.
Just sounds like you need to play.
Yeah, I guess that answers the question, though, that typical tournament levels, 30 Peacekeepers is enough.
I believe my Adepticon list had 26.
I showed up to Michigan GT with a unit with like 30 models just by itself.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop?
Nobody cares about your rats, Josh.
I don't care about them anymore.
I care about Veerman because I'm painting a ton of them. I have about 100 Stalkers, Crawlers, and Maligni on my table. And they're exhausting.
Yeah, that sounds mundane.
So the summer of sci-fi is quickly coming upon us, and with that will come the new summer campaign, guys, which means that we will be able to play games of Dead Zone, Firefight, and Epic, and potentially affect the story and lore of the Warpath universe.
I'm interested to see how it works because I've not participated before.
I only did 1 or 2 games last year for the summer of sci-fi, and that's when we got the Night Stalkers added. So I'm assuming this year we'll focus on the Nameless coming to Firefight.
I think I did something kind of similar for Malifaux years ago, but I don't really remember too much about it.
Well, I think it's important that we make a concerted effort to impact the summer of sci-fi in our faction's favor.
Well, we'll be playing at least one game together in July.
Or 3 with the upcoming tournament. And I will be, by extension, starting a slow grow campaign at my FLGS. Sam the Dragon's Lair is starting one down in Columbus, and I am going to act as a satellite to theirs because they flow up here for our tournaments, and some of us flow down there for theirs. So we're just kind of trying to grow the community overall. And so far, I have 3 armies that I'm working on for people. So that's potentially 3 more, hopefully regular players, and maybe more.
Is Ohio the new hotbed for Epic?
I mean, was it ever the hotbed for Drop Zone? I tried to make it that and was not overly successful.
We had like the Midwest cornered in general, Wisconsin through.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Midwest is probably the hotbed in the US for Epic. Well, for Mantic in general. Well, I don't know. Kings does pretty well, I think, just about everywhere. But, gentlemen, are we ready to jump into our main topic? Enforcers.
Let's do it.
Gordon, why don't you tell us what an enforcer is? I was going to ask Jordan to go over the lore of the enforcers.
Ooh, story time. Cool.
Right.
He's not going to.
I'm not going to. That'd be too
So
inaccurate.
the enforcers serve as the will of the council. A long time ago, there was an event called the Mandrake Rebellion that the orcs, through some potential corporate meddling, launched a massive rebellion that almost crippled and destroyed the GCPS. And the enforcers were the council's answer to that. They were genetically engineered super soldiers, unquestionably loyal to the council, donning Forge Father constructed armor and armed with the best weapons and equipment that humanity can muster.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, the Galactic clones, right? I've heard that story before.
Clones, Space Marines, whatever lore world you want to kind of squeeze them into. Yeah. They're power armored super soldiers, which means they're right up my alley. HR, Space Marines, Enforcers, they're all the same to me. I love them equally. So the Enforcer's Army special rule is advanced training. This means they can burn an extra command point regardless of whether or not they're within the command radius of their commander to use faction orders, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely something that will come up more than once in like a tournament.
The Army Nerve is an impressive 5-up. And does anyone want to go over their special orders, or should I go ahead and start rattling those off?
You go for it.
One of my personal favorite, high velocity ammo. Any unit or heavy infantry unit can activate and fire on a vehicle, walker, or super heavy and gain +1 AP, making them an anti-tank weapon. So this turns your regular operatives into 12 dice of AP1 or your heavy weapons teams into 6 dice of AP2.
My play got to take advantage of that a couple weekends ago, as I was teamed up with Joel's Enforcers.
I thought you were about to say your plague got taken advantage of. Were you guys sharing your special commands?
Yes, we were sharing.
Oh, that's hard.
I was not. Well, Joel, he was allowed to use his on my army, and vice versa. I couldn't use his orders myself. Was there a rule for that?
It's an interesting way to play.
Next up in the Enforcer Special Order list, at a cost of 1, is shock-resistant armor. So before an enemy rolls for damage on a vehicle or walker, you may reduce their AP by 1. And finally, the best order in the Enforcer Army, Go, 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 costs 2 points, unless you have a Maven. And that allows any infantry or heavy infantry to make a sprint order and still receive a combat token. And I used the shit out of that order.
Yeah, that's probably the order that gets used the most.
Yeah, it's not bad stuff.
Especially with the Maven being a reduction to 1 point, that's hard to not take advantage of.
Yes, and we will talk about the Maven as we jump into the units. First up are
Especially
the troops.
considering, the troops are slow as shit too, so that's especially helpful.
5-8
is slow. I thought that was average.
That's
commenting on the strategic orders. They because some armies struggle on getting to use their strategic orders efficiently, more so than others. And I'd say it's easy to find multiple times to use the enforcer orders.
Oh yeah, there's not a bad order there. Like
Yeah, shock resistant armor is probably the most niche of their commands, because if you don't run a lot of armor, or if you don't want to throw that command point on, reducing some AP. But yeah, high velocity ammo and Go, Go, Go both get a lot of use every time I've had them on the table. So the Enforcers have 4 basic troop types. The Standard Operative, the Heavy Weapons Operative, the Assault Enforcer, and the Pathfinders. What are your guys' thoughts on Enforcer Infantry?
oh my goodness, we jumped to troops, not HQ. Infantry
HQ's further in the list. I'm going through the book.
though.
I'm looking at the app.
Starting at the top of the list builder.
Yeah. I was looking at the list builder.
I'm sorry, we're not going to edit that in post, but I'll go ahead and pull up the companion so we're all on the same page, literally. So let's start with HQ. So we've got the lieutenant, the captain, the Peacekeeper Captain. This is all off the top of my head. I can't remember all of them.
Maven.
Maven, Lieutenant, Victor, Peacekeeper Captain, and Captain.
Captain.
All right. Well, I guess first in the list is the Maven command tank, and yeah, I have mixed feelings about the Maven. Like, I find its utility really useful, but I wish it packed a little more of a punch. Six
Getting
dice.
green and gold die out of that commander though is pretty awesome as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's great. And at armor 9 and resilience 3 with a 16-inch command radius, it's a solid piece.
With a
5-up save is 5-up save.
Yep.
My only problem with it is it doesn't have long range guns. If it was 24-inch or 30-inch, I'd be like, that's a very, very solid choice.
Yeah, but I mean,
It stand to be a touch cheaper. I would say it's about 20 points over pointed.
it's got, it's range 18 and it's moving 6.
Well, no, it's moving
But I mean,
9.
it's commander, so it's moving 9. So it's got a 27-inch threat range.
No, it's very solid. It's a super solid unit. I'm just
One
saying.
of the things to throw in on Don suggesting it's over pointed too is it is a command and a support choice at the same time.
Yeah, that is true. I guess I'm not really thinking of it that way, but yeah.
It's doubly expensive.
Oh yeah, it fills up slots, but that's every army has one of those though.
I would say it's also somewhat a hindrance to the unit too, because you don't want to lose it. So you are playing a bit more shielded with it, which is sort of a hindrance to it for the points cost.
So hard to kill though.
As I say, I haven't lost one yet.
Armor 9, 3 resilience, 5-up saves. I mean, it's gonna
tank.
Yeah, it's gonna eat everything.
Armor 9. Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, I faced off against a magma destroyer and it still didn't get blown up, so I did something right, or they did something wrong.
But its command and conquer ability to reduce go by 1, so you're only spending 1.
That is the reason I take it.
Well, also a green and an orange.
Yeah, I mean it is no slouch. It has like
but I mean I
everything.
can spend 160 points on 2 captains to get 2 greens, so it's not like. I mean, it's a nice bonus for the points, but I'm sorry. The Peacekeeper Captain is 1 green. He's 80 points. For 60 points, the Captain has a black and a green.
Right.
Yes.
So getting access to command dice is not a hard thing for enforcers to do.
No.
So they also have the Lieutenant, which orange dice, 40 points. I mean, he is what he is. He's your generic starter box commander, and I mean he's not bad, honestly.
No. If you can't have 20 more points on your list for the captain, he's totally valid.
Yeah. The Victor command tank.
Getting anti-grav out of a 40-point unit is pretty good.
If it's in the enforcer list, it pretty much has anti-grav.
Just noting, my cheap commander is 30 points, and he does fuck all. For 10 points more, you're getting a gold die and anti-grav. So,
I mean, the enforcer commanders do a pretty solid walk-up. The lieutenant to the captain. The captain's equally good, 20 more points, but you get the black and the green. And you've got the Peacekeeper Captain, who's running around with the heavy armor and the phase claws and the Dominator rifles. I mean, he's a good choice. Only a green dice, though. But he does have cunning, as does a captain. Well, and you've got the Victor Mark II command tank, which
I like.
Do you?
30-inch range, 3 dice, AP2. Well, what's not to like?
It's a command
the fact that you can buy the fact that you can buy an entire Victor squad for 160 and you get 2 of them.
Well, this can sprint, and
if you're right, it can sprint and Overwatch. That is a big deal.
Armor 8, 5-up save.
With range 30 inches, it can always be like a backfield objective holding piece that other people can't shoot at because it's an HQ. If you got things closer, nobody's shooting it.
I would say this is like a really good option if you're looking to fill out a more unit heavy,
Armor-centric.
or a more unit heavy list. Because otherwise, Maeve is kind of like the other really good option.
It does boast the best AP that the army has to offer with the Neptune heavy turret at AP2.
Oh,
And I'll bitch about this right now at the lead off, so I don't have to keep doing it every time. That's the best AP in the whole army, and that seems off.
Yeah, I'll disagree.
Well, you can do that, but you're wrong.
well, can't you your order lets you add an AP.
That's only on infantry and heavy infantry.
Huh?
High velocity ammo only works on infantry and heavy infantry. I can't use it on the Victor.
Yeah.
But you're going to have that infantry that are AP1 going to AP2.
Yeah, it makes your heavy weapon teams almost a must include, so you can get some valid anti-armor shooting. Because otherwise, it's all you can do is load up on Victors. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the tanks later on.
Yeah.
I mean, the Panther. It's not that even the Panther's a bad tank. It's just it's AP1. So
I mean, point for point, dice for dice. It's a weird take. Although it's not that. If you want a combat effective commander, then in many ways that rules out the lieutenant and the captain. And it leaves Peacekeeper Captain, the Victor Mark II, and the Maven. But Maven's is kind of its own thing. So basically, what do you want in your combat effective commander if you're going that route? Which
I don't even know that the Peacekeeper Captain is that combat effective.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I don't know that the 20 points is really worth a single base unit.
Yeah, and you guys know my passion for Peacekeepers, so for me to say that,
Yeah, I'd rather have the extra dice, the command dice, out of the captain than with the Peacekeeper. I mean, it's great what he has. I'm not saying it's not worth the 20 points. I'm just saying I wouldn't spend the 20 points
to lose a dice.
To lose a die, exactly, yeah. Because that's the whole point of the captains is to get, first and foremost, what dice are they giving me? So.
I mean, if I'm not running a Maven, I'm probably running a captain, and I'm probably running 2 to 3 captains in a 2,000 point list.
I'm shocked if you don't run at least 3 as an enforcer.
I mean, the only reason I wouldn't take 3 is if I was running the Maven.
Yeah, well, but yeah.
Well, also you're limiting the more commands you take, the more troops you have to take, the less access you have to specialists and support.
Right, but if I run a Maven and 2 heavy weapons, then a captain and a couple of enforcer operatives, and then a captain and a couple more enforcer operatives. Yeah, that's a good chunk of my list, but that's a good
It's not
core
bad.
of units.
Yeah, they can all be AP 1 to 2.
Right. So I mean, and then you're just fleshing in with some Victors or maybe some Striders, or Josh's new favorite thing, Persecutors.
Oh man, can't wait till we get to them later.
Well, let's move on. Let's hit our infantry. So our infantry choices, the 4 are heavy weapons, pathfinders, assault enforcers, and enforcer operatives. Now, I have a soft spot for enforcer operatives just because I think that there's nothing that a squad of operatives can't resolve.
And here I was going to say, let's start with the least effective of them, and I was going to say the enforcer operatives.
Enforcers have a sticker price shock. I mean, 160 points for your base infantry, but
That's not bad. That's like almost normal.
Well, they're 12 dice, range 15, armor 6, and they're shooting and assaulting on 5 ups. So they're not bad infantry.
I mean, that's cheap. That's cheap infantry.
I think you forgot how much Asterian marionettes cost.
Well, their stats are nowhere near that.
That's true.
I almost feel like I would head in the other direction, go with the heavy weapons team to gain the range and the AP. Versus,
Well, I mean, you almost have to because you need that range and you need that AP, and the vicious is nice.
yeah, you lose the half the dice, but you get the extra range to keep you safe and AP1 and vicious. Like I feel like I'd rather roll less dice and have better reach, and AP1 lets you attack just about anything on the board.
Yeah, point for point. Especially losing anti-grav for scout, although the stealthy is nice. I don't know. I'm not seeing taking the pathfinders over the heavy weapons too often.
I would bring one or two in a list because
I think they're a good compliment.
Yeah,
I think they're good complement to each other.
Plus ignores cover is pretty good, and then you can
ignore cover grants sustained as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Stealth, I know in the game we played with Joel, he had some of those guys in a building, and they were not going to die.
Yeah, you're at +2 to hit them.
So that was nice.
The base operatives with nothing else on them does seem kind of like a hard take in comparison to any of the other group choice.
This may just be because enforcers are like the only faction I really have played, but I find a solid mix of operatives and heavy weapons is the way to go because that 12 dice makes a difference, especially when you're dealing with infantry or light armor. Mm-hmm. Just that ability to throw a handful of dice at it. All they have to do is blow one save,
And you're not wrong, and those 12 dice could be AP1 against, a transport or something. Not against other infantry, but, a walker unit or, something. Like it's very valid. I'm not saying that they're, a bad choice. I just go,
if you're pumping up your command dice with these captains, then yeah, that's definitely a pretty viable choice.
I wouldn't discount the assault enforcers completely either, though.
I would, but that's because I'm a sissy and don't like to assault. So,
yeah, at 185 points, is this there's some okay assault options for this army, but with the range that they have on their guns, I almost would be like, why would I want to be that close?
Yeah, gun line really feels like where you want to play with enforcers.
They're like the token assault. They're the token assault infantry that they kind of just needed to give you.
Yeah, and this kind of transcends. I mean, I don't use assault enforcers in firefight either. But I don't use a lot of operatives in firefight either. So what do I know?
I mean, 12 dice AP1.
Yeah, the only bonus you kind of give to them is that their basic transport option is a heavy armor option, so they're way more survivable than some of the other factions get. So
or you could throw a user or a Draken.
Yeah, of course. You could.
There's absolutely the concept of throw 2 squads of assault enforcers into a Draken and then drop it on the backboard and let them go to town.
Right. But 185 points is just too expensive for me to take that option, though.
I agree. I like sticking with the operatives and heavies myself. Now, Josh isn't Josh your friend Josh? That gets confusing. He's a big Pathfinder fan, isn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm a big Pathfinder fan. I think they are really, really good. I mean, I played against a game of him just a couple weeks back where he had a unit of Pathfinders in woods just could not hit the guys because they've got effectively a +2 to hit. It's
we're in stealthy.
Yeah, I'd almost say that the assault enforcers and the Pathfinders points should be swapped for what you get. I'd still take Pathfinders at 185. I would not take assault enforcers at 185.
Honestly, I probably would too. if Pathfinders were 185, I'd probably still pay for that.
165. If I were going to build a list that was heavy on accusers or bringing a Draken, I would consider assault enforcers then. But when you compare them to some of the specialist options, there's just not a good reason to spend the points on them early. Which we can talk about the specialists if we're ready to move on.
Sure.
So under our specialist category, we have 4 options. We have the Enforcer Strider, the Jet Bikes, the Peacekeeper, and the Peacekeeper Defender. Peacekeeper is the best unit in the game, bar none. That's just my opinion.
We were talking a little about these units before we started here, and I think personally the Peacekeeper Defenders are a garbage unit. They almost don't even need to exist in this game in their current state. I understand what they're trying to do with them, but it way misses the mark, and I don't think anybody outside of new people just trying them out would really want to give them any attention in their list.
For 20 points, what you gain versus what you lose is not that great.
Yeah.
You gain the safe 7+, and you lose an AP on your assault. Yeah, I mean, I love Peacekeepers. They're pricey, but 12 dice with sustained, and you can make it AP1 against a vehicle. That's pretty spicy.
Now, if, let's say, the Peacekeepers didn't have the heavy armor, and the Defenders did with their save, then you have your argument. But there's no argument when the Peacekeepers have heavy armor.
Yeah, I don't disagree. So, Jet Bikes and Stride. Oh, go ahead, Josh.
No, I was just going to chime in that it's a sound reasoning argument, and I support it.
The Enforcers are not the speediest of armies, so I do find myself apt to take Jet Bikes in Epic, just because they're great for pushing up a flank. And again, 12 dice sustained. There's nothing wrong with that. Downside being, since they're a bike unit, they can't use any of the special orders.
That was my only complaint with the Jet Bikes is I feel if they were allowed, if they just added bike unit in there, infantry, heavy infantry bikes when firing, it'd be fine. They'd be super valid.
200 points is a little hefty for those guys.
Yeah, but you get that speed of 12-18 and a save of 6+. That's not bad.
Here's my argument for that being too expensive. Your unit strength is only 2 at best.
I think that's about right standard for all bikes.
But it's their only fast unit, and it's going to be the one that that will be getting any backfield objectives for them the most reliably. And so why would I want to shove them all the way to the back and just have them take the fire they're going to sustain, and then they'll just be outweighed by unit strength anyway. So
I don't so much look at them as a butt to steal an objective, but as a really effective flanking unit. I like to push them up the side of the board and use them basically to snipe stuff that I need to have, either thinned out or the attention of drawn away from something else.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but the army in general has pretty good range options, so I don't know that you really need to shove a physical unit up that far.
Listen, it's the only thing that lets me move a foot or more, so I'm going to do it.
Right. So, I mean, I like the unit. I like what it is. I like what it does. I just think at 200 points, it's kind of hard for me to really bite on that bullet.
15 more points, you can have yourself a squad of Peacekeepers.
Yeah.
Unlike the Defender and Peacekeeper comparison, though, I mean, you really do have something to think about with the Jet Bikes because you are getting that save 6.
It is, yeah. I like to say it. That's a good save for them.
I agree. And it's done work for me in the past. So
2 dice, sustained attack. That's all good.
I will say though, it becomes a problem because I don't know that I'm spending my specialist choices on the jet bikes and stuff when I could have a Strider.
The Strider's an interesting choice. I don't take a lot of them myself. Don, you were about to say?
Striders I've found to be bullet magnets. Because their range is typically going to be shorter than any of the tanks. So they're going to have to get up the field. So they become a threat. A threat that you can shoot much faster than a lot of other armor in the game. And I just find that in any of the factions that we've played so far, and I've even played against, like, the Striders just, like, take lots of shots before and usually don't get their return of investment because they get shot off the board much faster. So I think it's just like one of those
buildings.
No.
Yeah, put them in buildings. They're armor 8.
Plus 1 to be hit.
Yeah. Their survivability goes through the roof.
All right, but they're only range 18, so you're gonna have to get them to a building to make them effective.
Well, I mean, can't
put them in a backfield building; they won't shoot nothing.
That's why you have them, because they're your front line kind of pushing unit. Because your heavy weapons teams are staying in the back. You got to have something going forward.
All right, again,
your heavy weapon teams are staying in the back.
And
I like Striders.
Point for point too. They're only 130 points, so there's extreme low unit tax. As a Marauder player, I am extremely jealous of a 130 point unit that is a specialist that gives 3 shots of AP to. Like, that is not something I have.
or 9 shots at no AP.
Right.
So, but no, I think I like Striders. I think they're good, and you guys have valid points. I just think I've used them quite a bit, and like I said, they just become like bullet magnets for some reason. It's one of those units, like every game I've ever played, there was always a unit that's just like, it's so good, but it gets killed so fast that you don't ever get to do anything cool with it. That's how I feel like my Striders have been in the game.
You bring units.
I'm not arguing that point either, Don. I mean, I've painted one set of Striders, and I used them once. And I don't find room in my list for them.
Yeah, the other option for these Striders is that they're a much cheaper unit to use as your anti-air as well. Even though they don't have anti-air, they have the range to shoot at aircraft. So there's that advantage as well.
Well, that moves us into talking about the support options, which the Enforcers have a lot of support options.
Yeah, they do.
Granted, the majority of them are Panthers, but it's a lot of Panther variants. So the first in the list, which I notes here, the Panther Punishers, almost an auto include. You're getting 3 blast templates. It's as good direct as it is indirect. Blast indirect pinning targeting systems. I mean, it's and armor 6, but it's heavy armor and anti-grav.
105. Yeah, 105 points is a great point value for those guys.
Can I tell you why you're not actually taking this unit?
Okay.
Its unit strength is 0/0.
Well, yeah, but you don't leave it in the backboard, Josh, to score anything. You use it just to bombard stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. You've got other options.
Adepticon's still burning in your soul, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah, that's not why I'm taking those, Josh. The only thing I laugh at on here is anti-grav, because why would I care about anti-grav? I understand it's the theme of the army or whatever, but it's kind of silly for them to have it.
Yeah. Panthers have anti-grav because Panthers have anti-grav.
Heavy armor and targeting systems with their indirect firing at 105 points. I would love that. That is so good.
I just want to point out, we're going to circle back to the Panther Punisher later, but I'm putting a big asterisk with this unit so that we come and circle back to this.
I think I know what your asterisk is, but we'll go ahead and move on to the Victor Mark II tank.
Is it there's no HE, Josh?
No. We'll get back to it.
No, I know where he's going here, but
Right.
first off, the Panthers and the Victors across the board, I'm super excited to have because the Enforcers haven't had any tanks in Firefight for the duration of that game. Even with the Annihilation mode, you always had to bring everything in on Accusers or bring jet bikes, and it was just like, I don't want to play Annihilation, but if I get a Firefight Panther, yeah, I'll try out some Annihilation. But the Victor Mark II, we already talked about the Command Victor. It's the same stat line. You just get 2 of them. Armor 8, save a 5 up, 30-inch, 3 dice, AP2 weapon. I mean, if you want to kill armor, that's about the best choice the Enforcers can bring to the table.
Yeah, it's extremely defensible.
Yeah, save 5 up. I mean, armor 8.
Armor 8.
And you can do shock resistant armor.
Right. I'm loving that unit, especially at the 160 point range. And then if you're looking for numbers, I guess you just go for the cheaper Panther option and you get another tank out of it. And
well, not only do you get another tank out of it, and I struggle with bringing the Panther because it's only AP1, but it's AP1 sustained and it's 3 tanks, so you're looking at 9 dice.
Yep.
Armor 7, save 6, heavy armor, anti-grav. It's not a bad choice, and at 135 points, why take a striker?
And you can sprint 12 off the get. So
I feel like this would be a much more compelling unit since it's got this like speed and stuff. If it had a higher unit strength, like a unit strength 3-2 for like a vehicle, like, you know, use this as like a spearhead. It's going to take a location because at unit strength 3, it's not going to outright push off an infantry squad. You know,
no.
But I think it would be a lot more compelling and to utilize that speed if it was allowed to have a higher unit strength.
I think like a 2-1 would be fine for that.
Yeah. I mean, because there's a lot of units that are just like 1 or 2, you know, that you could use this to go and tie an objective or rush to push over, you know, an objective on your side so that there's a little bit more unit strength there.
I'm not sure what your problem is. Its unit strength is infinitely higher than the Punisher.
Yes, but the Punisher isn't designed to move around the table.
I know, I was just giving you crap. I guess, and that goes again for me, like I didn't even notice unit strength because when I look at tanks, I'm not looking at them as scoring units. I'm looking at them as this is going to delete something from the board for me.
Does a pretty good job at that.
I bring operatives to seize objectives. That's their job, is to take and hold, and everything else is there to kill stuff off.
The only problem I have with their smorgasbord of tanks is that you're a little spoiled for choice.
Yeah. You are and you aren't, because it's like you look at the Panther and it's like I could take the Panther or I could just take 2 Victors.
So I wonder if like while they are all good, could they have like Josh said, like could the Panther have taken more of a scoring role in the game rather than be just another like hard-hitting tank?
Well, I think a more interesting question is looking at the Panther missile tank is would you want to take a Panther grav tank over a missile tank? Range 24, 2 dice, anti-aircraft, AP1, vicious instead of sustained attack. Otherwise the same stats.
Yeah, I mean that's
10 points less
problem.
It's 10 points cheaper. So you lose 1 die, but it's 10 points cheaper, and you get the added bonus of the anti-aircraft.
Well, hear me out. Range 24 can still hit an aircraft.
No, that's true.
Add a plus 2 to hit. Add a plus 2.
Add a plus 2. There you go.
So at 25 points, at 10 points cheaper, I'm kind of depending on my list I'm building, I would consider the Panther missile tank and with the anti-aircraft as a bonus to save a few points if I wanted to add them somewhere else, and I would just lose the die, and I wouldn't feel bad about it.
Well, and you would lose 1 die per tank, so you'd lose 3 dice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I meant per tank, but
still,
I wouldn't feel
6 dice.
I wouldn't feel bad about it.
If we saw, for some reason, a giant influx of flyers to the game, it could be worth taking.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the meta is. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked the aircraft I took last time, so I'm gonna keep playing around with them, and
Well,
I'm gonna get people on board.
part of it
playing them all.
Part of it is there's not that many aircraft choices, and they're all the way down in support, and support's just generally hard to take multiples of.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and you're struggling in the support area, especially with enforcers. 7 support options, and you're going to bring 3 in your army, maybe. And why aren't they all victors?
So, do you think they would? Do you think anti-aircraft would benefit if they also had an option for shooting things that are hovering, grav, etc. type vehicles? So think of like Drop Zone with the Scourge. Anti-aircraft was able to avoid their skimmer bonus. Do you think something like that could play into this game to make the anti-aircraft weapons more enticing?
I think there's only 2 armies it's going to work against. It's going to be a pain in the ass for enforcers and Asterians.
But if you're going to a tournament,
right? But you're giving a rule that is designed to shoot down aircraft, and it only hamstrings 2 of the 8 armies in the game.
It only hamstring 2 in Drop Zone. Shaltari and Scourge.
Yeah, but 2 of 5 is a much larger percentage than 2 of 8, Jordan. What's the percentages?
It's a number.
2 of 5
anyway,
is 40%.
40%.
And 2 of 8 is 25%. It's a 15% difference. Math is hard.
It is. That's why we have you around.
That math was not hard at all.
I see you're being ironic.
Says the nerd.
I mean, it was like 4th grade math there.
Some of us didn't finish the 4th grade.
Some of us got a public education.
2 out of 5 is 4 out of 10. Like, it's super easy math.
So speaking of flyers, we have the Accuser Interceptor.
I like both of their flyer options. I like them.
Yeah, it's a fine flyer.
I don't dislike them. I'm just dragging out discussing the Accuser because I know Josh really, really wants to talk about the Persecutor Bomber.
So I appreciate the Accuser's capacity.
Yeah, you get 2 in the squad, so you can bring 1 squad of infantry in it. So probably Peacekeepers.
It has anti-aircraft, so which I guess can kind of, argue, like, would you rather have the Panther or missile tank or the Interceptor?
Can it have anti-aircraft? Because doesn't your range have to be greater than 15 inches?
No, it's
15 or greater.
As long as you have anti-aircraft, you could still shoot aircraft, though.
And like Jordan just said, 15 or greater, so it meets the requirements.
No, and it has to be greater than 15, I believe.
Oh, is it greater?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh. Well, they gave it anti-aircraft, so who cares?
Right.
I care, Don.
The only thing I would say that's a little negative with the anti-aircraft is the whole movement shenanigans of the flyers. It's going to be really hard to, like, maneuver so that you really take advantage of the anti-aircraft ability on there. But you're getting 3 dice, range 15, sustained attack, aircraft, anti-aircraft be damned. So that's pretty good, and you can also drop stuff. So this can go to the backfield, shoot with 3 dice, and drop crap off. So I mean, it's not too bad.
Plus, there's so many backfield objectives like artillery units and stuff that just don't have a lot of armor. So, these things flying around in the backfield doing things. Yeah, it's totally valid.
Like Plague.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen my artillery die to flyers many games.
Yeah, no, you zip them up and drop off a squad of peacekeepers, and they'll chew through an artillery squad, no problem. Or hell,
Yeah,
even
I
assault
mean-
enforcers, they could assault them.
Yeah, think about any of those like scoring rounds where you have like your back deployment zone also scores if you're over there. So stuff like that. So I think at 100 points, it's cheap enough to consider.
Yeah, no, my only problem with bringing it in the list is that it eats that support slot, and it's hard to justify bringing that accuser when you could be bringing victors or.
Yeah, I think this fits into something like a 2,000 point game. At 2,000 points, I'm going to highly consider some of these guys.
It should just be listed as a transport.
Yeah, and if it was, I would be more apt to bring it on a regular basis.
Its points would have to go up to like 140 or something, but it should just be a transport.
Even if it did, I would still consider it. If it weren't eating that support slot in a 2,000 point game, yeah, I would think about it. But Josh,
All right,
we should just skip over the persecutor. You don't have anything to say about it?
I mean, I guess we could talk about the transport since we were talking about the transport, but
No, we'll finish support here before we go into that.
I'm curious to see what Josh hates
portion.
about the bomber. What don't you like about this bomber?
oh, what? Be still my heart there, Don. Jeez, no, I can't believe people have been sleeping on the persecutor bomber. I was looking at this last week as we were prepping for this, and in my head, I was like, it's just a bomber. It's got to be flying close to drop its bombs and do its things. And so I'm looking at the stats. I'm like, hold on a second. It moves 14 inches, has a range 15. You get 2 bombers in the squad. So you've got 2 shots that have Demolisher. So if you are targeting at some infantry or walkers in a building, you've got 2 7-up rolls to just instantly delete the building and the units inside.
It's not 2 rolls, I don't think, because it has blast. So you're placing templates, and it's 1 roll.
Yes, but it's 2 templates.
It is 2, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't doubly get the building.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, if you run a plague colossus into the building, you get its attack dice, don't you?
I think Jordan's saying you can't. If you double up blast over the same unit, it doesn't hit it twice.
No, but that's separate from the Demolisher rule.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm not doubling up on the blast hits. I've got two hits with Demolisher.
No.
And Demolisher is considered a damage attack, so you are allowed to spend your command points to re-roll them.
So to get your amount of dice you're rolling on Demolisher, right? You're going to place your blast templates over top of the building, side by side.
Jordan has an argument here.
Roll your blast templates. Therefore, you have 1 attack dice against the building, which if you hit, you then get to roll 1 damage roll.
Jordan has an argument.
No,
I don't believe you have to place
blast
blast
roll.
demolishing.
Yeah,
The blast
No.
rule has it's built into the blast rule that you can't double up the blast.
but that
Or
has
the
nothing to
same.
do with
Can you-
Demolisher.
On a blast weapon, can you choose to not shoot it as blast? I don't think so.
I think we're looking at different things here. So you're talking about hits from blast for hitting the units and stuff inside. Demolisher is a separate rule.
The weapon has Demolisher, but it is
Right.
a blast weapon. So you're always using the template. You can't choose not to use the template.
Which is fine. But
the rules
I
for
don't
blast say you can't double up over the same target.
which I wouldn't be.
It would be if you're
Yeah,
shooting the
blast-
same building.
No, because
Blast, you combine all attacks from the squad and place templates, and then
you could
for every one thing under it, you get to shoot at it once.
Make me look up a rule right here on the thing.
I'm looking it up right now while you're arguing, just to see.
Like one base. What, like infantry, you get one attack per base. The building would be quote unquote one base, so you get one attack.
Let's see, Demolisher is actually not.
You get to roll 2 dice, but it doesn't hit it twice. So you're both kind of right. You do still get to roll 2 dice.
Yeah,
you don't
it's the 2 dice that you only care about, which is what I was saying.
Yeah, that's right.
Why are you rolling 2 dice?
Well, you're only looking for a success. If you have 2 successes, it doesn't matter. If you have 1 success or 2, it doesn't matter. Because it's still only hitting the same target once.
No,
Does that make sense,
not 1
Jordan?
success or 2.
38.
Like you only get to roll to hit once.
You still get to roll all your dice.
Yes. So.
But you don't get to double up the hits on the same target.
Oh, well, hold on. So the Plague Colossus. So, okay, hold on. I am wrong because the Demolisher keyword says you only roll 1 die, period.
Is that in the Demolisher rule? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
before
you get
resolving
the choice. All right.
before resolving the hits on the unit inside, roll a single die to damage the building itself.
You can see how often we've used Demolisher.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay, so anyways, going back, still you've got effectively because it's an AP2 attack, on a 7-up, you instantly remove the building, turn it into ruins, and kill everything inside. And you can re-roll that with all the command points that you've got available in your army. If you
blast, skipping the Demolisher, even if it didn't have that, it's still excellent because it's blast, ignore, cover, AP2, and vicious.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
by rule,
direct.
And by
It's direct
rule,
blast.
Okay, it's a flyer that moves 14 inches.
With a 15
it can shoot
range.
direct at whatever it wants.
Yeah.
And the blast rule.
It's a blast weapon, so it's also sustained.
Also, because it's a blast weapon, if you hit the building, you hit everything inside of it.
Potentially.
Well, and you will hit the building because it's a blast weapon. It's not an indirect weapon, so you place the template wherever you want to shoot it within range.
Exactly. So you automatically get to hit every unit in the building.
And if there are units
it's 2 units
next to the building, you could clip those too.
Yeah, true, yeah. So it's pretty effective in all kinds of ways. Except for the fact that you have to maneuver it to get what you want.
That's fine. Yeah. That's super easy with it. But so even if you fail to destroy the building with your 7-up Demolisher roll, you still then have AP2 ignores cover that you're rolling. What's its shoot? 5 up against whatever's in the building there.
Do you still have the Demolisher rule up?
Yeah.
Do you have to choose if you're using it as Demolisher?
It says before you even roll to do any damage to the infantry or whatever's in the building, you make the Demolisher roll.
Oh, so it's like a separate thing. So there's no negative to not doing it.
Correct.
Okay. Well,
unless you were really hoping to keep that building around.
Yeah. I mean, you can also technically shoot buildings that somebody hasn't moved into yet.
Yes.
To destroy it before they get in there, but let somebody wander into that death trap. Yeah, so it's got blast with 2 templates that you could potentially hit all sorts of models with. Ignores cover and vicious for 85 points.
It is way too cheap, yeah. This was another case where I feel like the interceptor and the bomber need to swap points for sure.
Man, why have I been sleeping on the persecutor?
That's what I'm saying. And going back, we're going to circle back to that Panther Punisher. For 85 points, I can have all of that. And then, you've got the Panther Punisher, which is just blast, indirect, pinning, targeting systems. No AP2.
Yeah. Well, the persecutor is not pinning.
okay, whatever. It nukes the unit. They're gone, or they lost half their guys. They're pinned.
I don't understand. They didn't need to put pinning on there anyways because blast pins automatically. Isn't it? Was it not?
No.
Is it not? It's put in the keyword.
It is not in the keyword.
Okay. Oh, I guess not. Okay. All right. Sorry.
So, Don, typically what happens and why you're thinking that is when you get hit by a blast weapon, you lose half your models and get pinned.
I think just my indirect fire gets blast too, and I'm just used to it giving it out. So, I'm trying to argue against Josh's argument, but I have to.
It's a sound argument.
Yeah, the Punishers are a safer unit, I would say. I would have them for different reasons.
You waste your support slot for those guys then.
Now, Persecutor versus Victor.
30-inch range. You got to put the Persecutors in the line of fire, though. It's only range 15.
It's a flyer.
With a 14-inch move, so it's a 29-inch threat range.
85 points. The only argument Josh has here is that it's too cheap.
Dude, this thing could be 165 points, and I would still take it.
Josh working on his Enforcer army now?
No. No, that thing is bananas.
Yeah,
well, let's go.
It's 5 points more than the APC.
Yeah, let's talk about that APC. It's a bad ass with that little laser cannon, 1 die, range 18. Hitting on
got heavy armor. It's got heavy armor.
Heavy armor, APC, anti-grav, capacity 2. It's an APC for an army that if you take a Maven, can run faster.
It is a little slow. It's pretty slow for an APC, though.
I mean, 812 isn't terrible. I mean, Enforcers run 5.8, so... But you can still, with Enforcers and a Maven, shell out the command points to sprint up the board and still get your combat tokens, which means you can rush into range and fire on stuff that's still sprinting up the table. And if they're not sprinting up the table, they're moving cautiously, which means you're just in a better position to grab objectives. So
I do have a problem with it. You want to put like your Peacekeepers in there or something, right? It has less armor than your Peacekeepers.
It's got a save. 7+. And it's heavy armor, so it does have some more survivability.
So are your Peacekeepers, and you can just go them.
Yeah. I'm not saying you would take them, I'm just saying it's...
And it doesn't really move that much farther.
Yeah, in general, the APCs suck balls in this game. This one is
I don't disagree.
Less sucky than those ones, so...
It needs to be like 20 points.
They need to... No, what they need is for something else to do after they've dropped the units off. Like, it's just like...
It's interesting because, like in Firefight...
What are they going to do?
In Firefight, when building a GCPS list, I will look at adding 3, 4, 5 mules because they are useful after they drop off the troops.
They're very good units, yeah.
They've got either that autocannon or that laser cannon, so it's cheap AP. I mean, they're just a really good unit. And yeah, in epic scale, they don't do much outside of dropping. Now, I think it's the Wolverine and the GCPS that gets pinning, but yeah, right. You're not wrong. It needs to do something other than I can maybe move your troops marginally faster up the board.
I agree with unit strength 0 because they're faster units. You know, they would just swarm a backfield objective or whatever. But I wish they would have like a checkbox that would allow you to add some sort of better weapon option for a certain amount of points more.
So the lighter vehicles get lost in epic, right? Like Firefight, you have, they have more damage points that they can take, right? So it does add survivability. But the way epic system is kind of built, it's hard to make an APC more durable than an infantry unit, right? Like
I don't even care if they're more durable. They just need to be able to do something once they drop the troops off. Like, let them die. I don't give a crap. But they need to be able to shoot and make a difference once they've dropped units off.
They need like a suicide explosive option. Just
something, yeah. Like,
I mean, to Jordan's point, the default mule in Firefight's a 45-point model, and it's got capacity 6, and it comes with an autocannon at range 24, AP1, 3 dice and pinning.
Exactly.
And you got to damage it 4 times to kill it.
Yeah, health 4. And for 15 points, so for 60 points, you can slap a laser cannon on it, give it range 36, 3 dice, AP3, anti-tank. I love mules.
Versus here, like, there's no stacking. There's only 3 Panthers. So in many ways, they're even less survivable than the infantry because there's less of them.
Because it's your dog.
Because it's your dog.
But also, like, I'm not really even worried about them as an opponent.
Yeah.
So, like, they're nothing out there. They're just useless after they drop units off, which they do, like you said, marginally better than them running up the field themselves.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to spend 160 points if you want to move a couple of squads with it, and at 160 points, you could just buy another squad.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Just make them like 20 points. There's so many times I'm building a list and I've got like 30, 40 points left over. And it's like, oh, if I could have a transport, I would for that point cost. It's not going to do anything, but like...
Yeah, unit tax-wise, is it really... Because they add so little else past that, right? There's no unit strength. Is it worth 80 points to be able to move an extra 4 inches?
Usually not, unless the only time I've used them to great effect was one game I've played so far. I got my heavy, what are they called? The heavy shooters in my plague army to the center building, and they were like okay effective. I haven't gotten up there that fast, but other than that, I mean, because of the way that now, let's say that the line of sight rules were a little better in the game, and you can use them to shield a little bit, play around with letting them soak up bullets.
Well, you can. I mean, they will block line of sight to infantry behind them.
Only to other small, shorter units.
Or vehicle 3, I mean, stuff that's like vehicle 3. Or, so
anything that's height or lower.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just wish they were more useful. I don't even want them cheaper, I just want them more useful.
Yeah, APCs are in a weird place in this game, and I don't think they see a lot of table time. Now, if someone's out there who uses a lot of APCs, please enlighten us on what we're missing.
I think they're also devalued. If we're segueing into the Draken Light Cruiser, I don't feel like you're paying 8 points for capacity. Super heavies are fun to take. I think it's something that's slept on, but the capacity on the super heavies is actually really useful.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't brought a Draken in a game yet, and it's not for a lack of wanting to. I don't know. I'm sitting here looking at the Draken right now. I'm like, no, I really like this. I don't know why I'm not using it more.
Because there's no AP. It's a lot of dice. But
this is
it doesn't need the AP because you could load it up with 2 squads of heavy weapons.
Yeah, so this is a unit you're gonna play to the orbital deployment, homing beacon bonus of getting it.
Yeah, I mean, you're
in your opponent's face,
and you're only going to scatter a max of 3 inches, which means you're going to have a really good effort of deploying it without hitting something.
You're shitting out a capacity 12.
You're shitting out a capacity 12 that gets a +1 on their assault coming off the transport rather than a -1. Which means if you load it up with peacekeepers or assault enforcers, they're going to charge into the back lines of something and just fuck it up.
Right, and with it being orbital deployment, you were forcing your opponent to deal with it. They have to deal with it. All of this, that's in their face. right now, you have to deal with it.
It's armor 9, resilient 3 with a 6-up save, and it's throwing 12 dice at 15 inches with sustained attack. Yeah, no AP, but
Can I just say that why did they hand out Resilience 3 like candy to everybody else except for my Colossus? Why does my Colossus only have Resilience 2? Everything else has Resilience 3.
does it have regeneration?
No.
I don't know.
I mean,
Because they hate the plague.
dwarves don't have resilience 3, so you know.
Nobody cares about dwarves.
Dwarves have
right?
armor 10. Dwarves have armor 10 in a game where the die caps at 8.
Dwarves don't have to be run into your opponent's half of the table to actually be effective.
Someone's not using Thorgrim.
So anyway, I'm not bitter at all. But no, I love the way that this unit looks on paper. It would certainly have to be like you got to try it to really like see how it plays out, but I do like it on paper.
Like with everything with Enforcers, I wish it had a little more AP available to it because it is a spaceship. You would think that the guns would be a little better than no AP, but
I'm gonna treat its guns as a bonus. If I'm being honest here, the capacity is kind of what I'm really bringing, and plus you get an extra black tactician die, and it's not a commander, so you get that bonus as well.
Yeah,
I mean, if we're not counting the weapons, then it's an extremely expensive
transport.
Yeah, transport that you get to plop in your opponent's back at the table, and then they have to deal with it.
I would say
it's unit strength 5/5, which means technically if you're like scoring the deployment zone, you could drop it in the enemy deployment zone, rush the troops up to the nearest objective and take it, and you're double scoring.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's got a lot of play options.
I just wish its assault weapons were like AP2.
So you could run it into stuff.
Yes,
I do not want that, Josh. I do not want that thing ever being in my backfield with 6 dice AP2. Thank you very much.
But it's assault 6.
Just land on it. I don't know how it has assault. It must be like point defense weapons or something.
It's just squashing stuff. Yeah, the only thing I would say about its weapons, it seems like it's sort of like what's its identity here? Like it's just 6 dice across the board. It felt like that was almost like their base stats they gave it before playtesting, and then they just never changed it.
There's some confusion on the Draken for me from a perspective because the Draken light cruiser, like in the Warpath lore book, reads like it's going to transport someone in the area of like 500 enforcers, and it's going to serve as like a mobile base of operations for them to jet around from planet to planet, right? It's not just like a drop ship. That's what the Stallion was supposed to be. But then when you look at some of the art in the Epic War book that depicts the Draken, it doesn't look like it's that much bigger than an Accuser. So I don't know if it's really a light cruiser or if it's just a glorified dropship or what it is, and that bothers me.
Well, don't be bothered because it does bring you one more black command dice. We didn't talk about that, and it should be mentioned.
I did just say it.
Did you? Oh,
I did. Yeah.
You don't way to ignore Don, Josh.
Yeah, even if this thing had no guns, I still think it's a pretty badass unit.
Well, if no guns at 410 points,
it wouldn't be worth 410 points. Like I'm saying in general, like points aside, if it had no way to defend itself and all I could do was drop off, let's say 18 units, I would take it at 410 points if it could drop off 18 units in my opponent's backfield. Gain a black tactician die, resilience 3, save 6 plus.
I would just bring 2 of them and not deploy an army.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really cool unit. it kind of falls into the issue with the army in general is like spoiled for choice sort of a thing. You're never gonna have enough. You're never gonna have enough points to bring all the cool shit.
If you think about bringing it as a method to deploy a decent AP unit, you can let it worry about mopping up enemy infantry, right? Because you can throw 2 dice at 2 separate squads of infantry, and then dump out a couple of squads of heavy weapon troops, in the rear of whatever their armor formation is, and just lay waste to it. So I mean, it's got some play options, but you have to kind of know what you're going to do with it. It's not going to drop from the sky and pop tanks, but it is definitely going to harass or debilitate infantry.
It is very much this dictates how you're going to play your game. That's what the unit does. You're not just bringing it in addition to. I'm playing the game in a certain way. That's why I'm bringing the unit.
Your scenario winner. That's really
yeah.
I mean, you're going to dump 840 points into shoving 2 squads of peacekeepers into it, but at the same time, if you do that, you're going to drop that in the backboard. They're going to be able to go punch to death anything that's super heavy, or they're going to be able to get some AP on their Dominator rifles and screw stuff up, and they're going to be really hard to remove from the backboard. I feel like.
You're going to be
should be a group choice.
Yeah, you're gonna if you look at your opponent while they're setting up and they just place their 2 objective markers far enough from each other, the minimum amount, you're salivating over that with this thing. You're I'm gonna put this thing right in the middle of those 2. Those are both mine now.
I mean, and that is epic, though. If you could deny your opponent 2 objectives for even a turn, let alone 2, you've already won the game.
Yeah. Remind me with orbital deployment, is there a turn is that to be turn 2 on or anything?
Turn 2.
Turn 2 on.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
Which is a blessing and a curse, because, to that scenario you described, they placed 2 objectives near their deployment zone, and they've just got a couple of light units parked on it, and they're pushing everything else up, and you're just all right, now at the end of turn 2, let me just come out and say hello.
Yep.
And you take an advance on it to bring it in, so it just drops down, and your guys can advance out right into an assault if they want to at a +1. Oh wait, you can't advance into assault. You'd have to take a sprint.
Yeah.
But even then, you could sprint it onto the table and then charge out of the transport in 2 different directions and assault 2 different objectives.
Yeah, and if they have their infantry out and any... Oh, no, you couldn't shoot first, so that wouldn't make sense. But yeah, take advantage of the assault. The +1 to the assault.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do it for a few less points, you could load it up with assault enforcers.
Yeah.
And just let them charge in and murder stuff, and then you can... next turn, give it an overwatch and just unload on whatever's there.
Maybe. Okay, so hear me out. The Peacekeeper Defenders potentially have a place in that situation, but at 235 points, that would still be wow, that'd be a lot.
That's an 880 point brick.
I'll just take assault enforcers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna deploy 2 squads of Pathfinders.
Yeah, I like that unit. You should. I would love to see you bring that out next time we play Drac.
What, the Draken?
Yeah, just to play with it. I'd like to see how it plays on the table.
I think it's in my ringer list for July.
If you like the Draken, you wait till we get to play with the dwarves.
You want to talk about the drop fortress?
Yeah.
Does that have orbital deployment?
Sure does.
Okay.
It's in
all
the
right.
game.
Well then,
drop fortress.
I don't pay attention to dwarves.
It's just a heavily armored pyramid bristling with guns and infantry drawers.
Are you saying you've looked past them, Don?
I would. I'd look over them.
Don's looking down on dwarves.
Huh?
Obviously, you didn't look over them. Then you know what was going on.
Oh, look, it's a Jordan Punisher.
You.
So going back to the enforcers, though, is this army good, competitive? I would say yes. There's like you have to go out of your way to take the bad choices.
I would dare say it's the best army in the Warpath universe.
The only negative you give to this army is the cost, and so I would say that this is an army where you really need to have a game plan with.
And outside of like the Draken, like it's not like there's not a big strength on unit strength stats, right?
No, not really.
So yeah, you're probably going to have a couple less squads overall, and you have average at best unit strength values.
Yeah,
I
think
that.
You look at high point costs with the army, but you also, in a lot of cases, get what you pay for. Statistically, they're going to be better than comparable units of other armies.
Now that does, like value-wise, because your units on average are going to be hardier. You're going to be able to hold something a little longer, so they're at the same value. There's a higher value of the unit strength a little bit, but
the flip side of that is if the dice gods hate you one turn, I mean it just tanks your game.
I was about to bring that up too. Yeah.
No, pulling everything away. If nothing's dying,
that
you're
can't
going to have less
happen.
Points.
That can't happen to an enforcers player. They have so many command dice that they can just change the results.
I think Drake was thinking more of the.
I mean, getting gunned down. Yeah,
your opponent was shooting hot. Yeah, if your opponent has a couple of hot rounds with dice, it does hurt you quite a bit more losing units.
Yeah, every loss hurts that much more because you start off just with that much fewer units.
Right. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like this is an army where you really need to know like what each unit's strengths are and how to kind of like come back from any losses and stuff like that. So at first, this could be like a bit of a learning curve army.
Yeah, and they're very much come hell or high water. You have a plan and you have to commit to it and hope the game plan works, or otherwise you're going to lose.
I made my list with 4 companies, and 6 heavy weapon squads, 2 Pathfinders, 4 Persecutor bombers. Oh, it's beautiful.
4 bombers.
It's a thing of beauty. Like, I don't know why people are sleeping. You can have so much infantry and so many flyers. It's beautiful.
It's easy to win when your opponent has no terrain to hide behind anymore.
Exactly, Vietnam tactics.
I don't know, Josh. You'd probably fly them off the board. I've watched you place a unit strength 0 in your backboard to hold an objective, and then also walk out of your backboard to lose an objective. So
yeah, I'm not the best at holding objectives.
Movement shenanigan is not your strength.
No.
Josh plays it for the Michael Bay effect.
Walking away from stuff in slow motion as it explodes.
Yep.
Well, I think that just about wraps us up on the enforcers, gentlemen. Do we have any final thoughts regarding them?
I would like to build and play them. That's my thought.
I think that's a wonderful idea, Don, and I think it makes you a better human being.
A better superhuman being?
Ooh. They're post-human being.
What does that even mean? They're over being human?
Yeah, they've gone beyond what is standardly considered human.
Doesn't even make sense.
Hey man,
Superhuman.
I didn't create science fiction. I just, play in it.
You're just a stupid regular human, Josh. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. How can you possibly conceive post-human or transhumanism when you can't even handle humanism?
Man, I'm just
You're not
reminded
even
of
a
like
you're not even
dinosaurs.
a Greendale human being.
Chickens are still dinosaurs, right? So how does the enforcer not still be a human? It
He
just
is a human. He's just a post-human. He's the human after humans. He's like the other white meat.
it just doesn't make any sense.
Some people like post better, all right? I like post hardcore better.
Gordo loves Post Malone.
Do I?
I don't know.
I can't even name
I,
a song that he has.
I knew Don didn't, so that's why I went with you.
I thought Don was naming a breakfast cereal that I didn't know.
When he said Post, I thought about cereal too.
Get cultured, all right.
Get Raisin Bran, all right.
He's more of a General Mills guy.
I
Can't
drive a
afford
Buick.
cereal. I gotta get the bag cereal.
Maltomeal.
It tastes the same and it costs less.
I mean, Maltomeal doesn't even really cost less. Like, there's other bags that are even lower than Maltomeal, but
I just
It's
keep the
it's
name brand
expensive.
box. I keep the name brand box around, and I keep refilling it with the bag cereal, so nobody thinks nobody knows I'm poor.
and how this relates to Warpath is look what the corporations are doing to us.
Right. We're living it right now.
Well,
All right.
gentlemen, if we stick to the rule book, next time we meet, we will be discussing the Star Realm. Doesn't mean anything to any of you, does it?
It just means dwarves, right?
That means dwarves, the dwarf Star Realm.
Ooh, I might be sick for the next one.
Know your enemy, Donald. Know your enemy.
All right.
But you'll get to learn all about the Dread Fortress.
look over them. Don't look past them, right?
Don't look down on them.
I'll give them a half an hour of study before we do the next podcast, because that's what I did for Enforcers.
Hey, half an hour is all you'll need. Half an hour, you'll be like, this army.
I already know that. To be fair,
Well,
though,
real quick. Oh, go ahead.
like playing against them more in Epic than I do in Firefight. Firefight, I hate them so much.
Since they fixed high velocity ammo in Firefight, I am okay killing dwarves.
Okay, I'll have to look at it.
So real quick, hobby roundup here. Don, you got anything on your hobby table?
I started assembling some stuff for stuff I bought from Adepticon, and I did a little more painting on my Nurgle Blood Bowl army, but I've unfortunately been a little preoccupied with house chores and my disc golf season, so not quite as
It is
much as I would like
summertime.
to. Yeah.
Jordan, what about you? Anything hanging out on your hobby table?
No, I haven't got much hobbying done lately.
To be
You,
fair,
Josh?
Jordan's done just as much hobbying this year as he's done the last 3 years, so.
He painted an entire salamander army in like 3 weeks, so.
And whatever his army is for
I mean,
your fantasy army.
the first 3 months of this year, I got quite a boatload done.
Yeah, bunch of orcs. You did a lot.
Jordan painted his entire year's worth in the first 3 months.
Right.
Josh, what about you? What's sitting on your hobby desk?
Nameless. There's a tournament coming up, and I needed to rejigger my list a little, and so I had to assemble some more squads of Nameless. So I'm getting
Is
them.
that a tournament we're all aware of?
I believe it was already mentioned.
Oh yeah, okay. I don't remember what we talked about 5 minutes ago. So.
Oh yeah, the one at your game store.
Yes, July 25th, the Domination of the Den. Also coming up, Origins is next week. As you're listening to this podcast, it may be past. June. Wake up, mouse. June 21st is the Epic tournament at Origins. 1,750 points. Requires a super heavy. Being ran by Sam from the Dragon's Lair.
Ooh, requires a super heavy? Okay.
Yep, 1,750 points, and you must bring a super heavy. He's playing on 4x4s. They're going to be gorgeous tables.
It's going to be tight.
He's taking all my terrain, but yeah, it should be interesting. He's come up with some custom scenarios. I have not dug through the tournament pack, but I've seen the guys in the Discord group talking about the scenarios he's worked up. He's being a little more creative than me. I'm just trying to fine tune the actual book scenarios into a solid tournament pack, but he's getting experimental. As far as me, Hobby Desk, I have 1,750 points of Veerman I'm working through for a commission. And I can 3D print enforcers now, so I'm going to have, I think, a lot of Peacekeepers next month that I'm going to need to paint for no good reason.
I wish you hadn't sent those Plague yet. I might have requested some enforcers.
Well, funny you should mention that. I haven't sent it yet. I got it boxed up, and I have not had a chance to get it to the post office. So if there's something you need, let me know.
No, probably better I wait and get it at the tournament, because otherwise I'll be tempted.
Fine. Well, all right, gentlemen. If there's nothing else and no final thoughts, we can probably wrap this one up.
Oh, did you mention the errata? The sneaky errata we just had?
Nope, I forgot all about it, but there is a partial errata. There's still other stuff that I know Rules Committee has going up to Mantic. I'm not overly concerned because we're getting a new book in the summer that is going to cover all of the sci-fi universe. So it's going to cover Warpath in general, which means Dead Zone, Firefight, and Epic. So I think it's going to be a big lore dump plus a bunch of rules updates. So that is coming probably in the next couple of months.
In time for Gen Con, I would assume.
Maybe. I know Halo has a big set of Gen Con releases because Grunts and Marines and Spartan Killers are all dropping for Halo by Gen Con. So, yeah, that's. I mean, Halo keeps the lights on at Mantic, I think, more than anything else. So, Halo enables all the other games to actually exist.
Yeah, true.
Well, all right, gentlemen, if there's nothing else, we'll wrap this up in the infamous words of Jordan. Remember how you wash. Oh, shit, I screwed that up. It's be careful how you wash.
Careful how you wash.
Yeah, I'm not going to edit that because screwing up is kind of de facto for this podcast. Hey, gentlemen.
All right, bye.
Talk to you next month.
See you.